Money is something everyone thinks about, but few truly understand. While some people have mastered it, most are still chasing after it. You might see money as just numbers, spreadsheets, or equations to solve. But the real decisions about money are made far from calculators, often around dinner tables, shaped by ego, pride, fear, and personal history. The true nature of money is a dance between cold arithmetic and human nature. When it comes to money, we are complicated creatures, and financial success isn't just about knowledge, it's about behavior. This video draws inspiration from Morgan Housel's book, The Psychology of Money. We're diving into the strange, deeply human side of money. Our financial DNA is unique, shaped by our generation, our parents' incomes and values, where we grew up, and the economic environment we were born into. All these factors create vastly different experiences and attitudes toward money. For example, how we view the stock market or inflation is often rooted in what we lived through as young adults. Consider how different generations see the stock market and inflation. People born in 1970 saw the S&P 500 soar during their youth, so they tend to be optimistic about investing. Those born in 1950, however, saw the market stagnate in their early years, making them more cautious. Meanwhile, people from the 1960s lived through high inflation, which made them wary of its effects. Each generation's experiences during their formative years shaped their attitudes and behaviors toward investing and financial decisions. People born in the 1990s experienced low inflation, so they tend to worry less about it. Our experiences with the stock market and inflation during our youth have a lasting impact on how we invest and make financial choices. We justify our decisions based on the information we have and the mental models we've inherited from our parents and life experiences. Even if we make mistakes, our actions make sense to us in the moment, fitting our personal story. According to Morgan Housel, people do some crazy things with money, but no one is actually crazy. We all have unique worldviews, and since there's no single correct way to manage money, none of us are truly irrational. We make financial decisions based on our personal experiences and perspectives. What might seem odd to one person makes perfect sense to another, given their background and beliefs. Warren Buffett is often called one of the greatest investors ever. What's truly staggering is that $81.5 billion of his $84.5 billion net worth was earned after he turned 65. Housel points out that Buffett's fortune isn't just about being a good investor, it's about being a good investor for a very long time. Starting at age 10, Buffett harnessed the power of compounding, letting his investments grow exponentially over decades. Imagine investing $1,000 at an 8% interest rate. After 1 year, you'd earn $80. If you reinvest your total, the next year you earn interest not just on your original $1,000, but also on the $80 you made. Over time, this compounding effect becomes powerful. Many people underestimate how extreme the results can be, but compounding is a key to building wealth over the long run. Let's imagine Warren Buffett had spent his early income on travel and luxury cars, starting serious investing at age 30 with $25,000. Even if he earned the same impressive returns, his net worth today would be about $11.09 million, 9% less than his actual fortune. Buffett's financial success is due not just to skill, but to starting early and letting time do the heavy lifting. Buffett's secret is just his investing skill, it's the time he spent in the market. Consider Jim Simons, a hedge fund manager who achieved much higher annual returns than Buffett. Yet Simons' net worth is much lower simply because he started investing later in life. If Simons had compounded his returns as long as Buffett, his wealth would be almost unimaginable. The lesson: never underestimate the power of compounding over time. When it comes to money, we're naturally drawn to pessimism. Even though things generally improve over time, we tend to focus on the negative. Why? Because good things take time while bad news grabs our attention instantly. A sudden stock market crash makes headlines while slow, steady gains often go unnoticed. Our bias toward pessimism is strong, but it's important to remember that progress usually wins out in the long run. 40% drop in the stock market gets immediate attention, while a 140% gain over 6 years might go unnoticed. Similarly, medical advances save countless lives each year, but slow progress rarely makes headlines. Sudden tragedies are dramatic, but overnight miracles are rare. To be practical, we don't have to be pessimistic. Despite setbacks, history shows that the odds of a positive outcome improve over time. When you watch the news and see stories about market crashes or economic troubles, it's easy to feel anxious. But it's important to remember that over time, things tend to get better. Try to keep a long-term perspective and not let short-term setbacks cloud your judgment. The odds are often in your favor if you stay patient and optimistic. In 1968, there were about 300 million high school-age people in the world, but only 300 students at Lakeside School in Seattle had access to a computer. This rare opportunity changed everything for one student, Bill Gates. Along with Paul Allen, Gates would go on to create Microsoft. Their access to technology gave them a 1 in a million head start. Luck isn't the whole story. Kent Evans, a classmate of Gates and Allen, was just as talented and visionary. Tragically, he died in a mountaineering accident before graduating high school. Just as rare luck propelled Gates and Allen, rare risk changed Evans' fate. Luck and risk are like the wind and waves for a sailboat. You can steer, but you can't control everything. Just as a sailor can control the rudder and sails but not the wind or waves, our lives are shaped by both our actions and forces beyond our control. Success is a complex mix of talent, effort, luck, and risk. Recognizing this can help us approach our financial decisions with humility and perspective, understanding that not everything is within our control. Many people believe that becoming wealthier will make them happier. But according to Housel, the real key to happiness is having the freedom to do what you want, when you want, with whom you want, for as long as you want. Chasing material wealth often leads people to work harder and give up control over their time, even as they become richer. Studies show that having control over your time is the most reliable predictor of well-being more than salary, house size, or career prestige. Pursuing money without valuing your time is like filling a bucket with a hole in it. No matter how much you pour in, it keeps leaking out. Lasting happiness comes from controlling your time and enjoying the fruits of your labor. Heinz Berggruen, a man who fled Nazi Germany, became one of the most successful art dealers ever. He collected works by Picasso, Klee, and Matisse, selling part of his collection for over 100 million euros. His secret: he bought many pieces and held them for years, waiting for a few masterpieces to become valuable. Most of his art wasn't worth much, but the few winners made all the difference. His concept is called the long tail. A small number of events account for most outcomes. In Berggren's case, 99% of his art was of little value, but the 1% that became famous made his fortune. The same principle applies to business and investing. Venture capitalists, for example, expect most startups to fail, but a few big successes cover all the losses. Take Amazon as an example. In 2018, Amazon alone drove 6% of the S&P 500's return thanks to just two products, Amazon Prime and Amazon Web Services. These two successes more than made up for all of Amazon's failed experiments, like the Fire Phone. Jeff Bezos understands that it's okay to fail with most products if a few become massive hits. Bezos once said that some failures will make the Fire Phone look like a tiny blip. Tail events are mostly hidden from us because we only see the finished products, not all the failures along the way. The same is true for stand-up comedians. The Netflix special is the 1% of jokes that worked, while 99% were tested and discarded in small clubs. When it comes to investing, most people ignore the importance of long tails. We tend to overreact when things go wrong, forgetting that a few big wins can make up for many losses. Out of nearly 500 stocks Warren Buffett has picked, only 10 have made the majority of his money. Good stock pickers are right only half the time, but that's enough if they catch the right tail events. The fact that you might be wrong sometimes doesn't mean things won't work out. In business, investing, and life, the outcome is often determined by a small number of events. Good leaders and investors are only right about half the time. What matters is being in the game long enough to catch those rare, game-changing successes. It's important to understand the difference between being rich and being wealthy. Richness is about your current income and the things you own. Wealth, on the other hand, is about the financial assets you haven't spent yet. True wealth is hidden. It's not the flashy car or the big house, but the money you've saved and invested for the future. It's easy to assume that someone driving a Lamborghini is wealthy, but appearances can be deceiving. Many people live beyond their means, relying on debt to fund their lifestyles. True wealth isn't about what you spend, it's about what you keep. The diamonds, watches, and upgrades you decline all contribute to your overall wealth. Accumulating wealth takes self-control and discipline. We're conditioned to believe that having money means spending it, but the real key to building wealth is saving and investing. The only way to be wealthy is to not spend all the money you have. True wealth is harder to imitate because it's hidden, not flaunted. The next time you see someone with a fancy car or a big house, remember that you can't judge wealth by appearances alone. The true key to wealth is self-control, restraint, building assets, and investing in your future. It's not about what you show off, but what you quietly accumulate over time. Imagine climbing a mountain to reach the peak and enjoy the view. You might face sunshine, rain, or even get lost along the way. The difficulty isn't always clear until you're in the middle of the climb. From the ground, the path looks obvious, but you'll need to adjust as you go. You know there's no golden escalator to the top. Uncertainty and risk are just part of the journey. When it comes to investing, many people think they can avoid risk and get something for nothing. Housel compares the stock market to buying a car. You can buy new, used, or try to steal one. The new car is expensive but rewarding, like aiming for high returns. The used car is safer but offers less reward. Trying to steal a car is like trying to beat the market without paying the price. Most people know it's not worth the risk. From 1950 to 2019, the Dow Jones returned about 11% per year, but the ride was anything but smooth. There were many highs and lows, and watching investments rise and fall can be stressful. Many try to time the market, hoping to avoid the emotional roller coaster, but in reality, volatility is the price you pay for long-term gains. The price you pay for investing isn't just dollars and cents, it's accepting the emotions that come with volatility, fear, and risk. Recognizing that successful investing comes with a price is crucial. This price isn't always obvious, but you have to pay it, just like you would for any other product or experience. The key is to see the market's fee as an admission ticket, not a penalty. If you view volatility as a fine, you'll never enjoy the experience. But if you accept it as the cost of entry, you can stay invested for the long term and benefit from the market's growth. Be willing to pay the price once you find it. Know when enough is enough. The concept of the hedonic treadmill or hedonic adaptation means that every time you reach a goal, you quickly set a new one. The pursuit of more can become endless, leading to dissatisfaction. Even those who are already wealthy can fall into this trap, always chasing the next rung on the ladder. Stories of Bernie Madoff and Rajat Gupta show how the endless pursuit of wealth can lead to disaster. Both men were already ultra-wealthy, but it was never enough. Their desire for more led them to crime and ultimately to their downfall. The lesson: without a sense of enough, the pursuit of wealth can become all-consuming and destructive. Chasing wealth without knowing when to stop can lead to a lack of happiness and fulfillment. The key is to recognize when you have enough and to appreciate what you have. True satisfaction comes from enjoying your achievements and having control over your time and life, not from endlessly chasing more. Financial success is less about how much you know and more about how you behave. Our actions, habits, and attitudes toward money play a bigger role than technical knowledge. Understanding your own tendencies and biases can help you make better decisions and avoid common pitfalls. Money isn't just about numbers, it's about people, emotions, and stories. Our financial decisions are influenced by our upbringing, experiences, and the people around us. Recognizing the human side of money can help us be more compassionate with ourselves and others when it comes to financial choices. Everyone makes mistakes with money. What matters is learning from them and adjusting your approach. Financial success isn't about being perfect, it's about being resilient, adaptable, and willing to grow. Each setback is an opportunity to learn and improve your financial habits. Approaching money with humility means recognizing that you don't have all the answers and that luck and risk play a role in every outcome. Being humble allows you to stay open to new ideas, learn from others, and avoid overconfidence, which can lead to costly mistakes. The world of money is always changing. Markets rise and fall, economies shift, and new opportunities emerge. Being flexible and willing to adapt is essential for long-term financial success. Don't get stuck in old ways, stay curious and open to change. Small habits repeated over time can lead to big results. Saving regularly, investing consistently, and living below your means are simple habits that build wealth. Focus on building good financial habits and let time and compounding do the rest. Short-term thinking can lead to poor decisions and missed opportunities. Investing for the long term means accepting ups and downs, staying patient, and focusing on your goals. Over time, the odds are in your favor if you stick with your plan and avoid emotional reactions. Keeping perspective helps you stay calm during market swings and financial setbacks. Remember that setbacks are temporary and that progress takes time. Focus on your long-term goals and don't let short-term noise distract you from what matters. In the end, money is a tool, not the goal itself. Use it to create the life you want, support the people you care about, and pursue your passions. True wealth is about freedom, fulfillment, and the ability to live life on your own terms. The psychology of money teaches us that financial success is about much more than numbers. It's about behavior, perspective, and understanding the human side of wealth. By embracing humility, patience, and self-control, you can build true wealth and happiness, no matter where you start.